Am I the asshole? For not wanting previous owner's son in my home property? My husband, daughter, and I live in a small rural town. We purchased this house with acreage about 4 or 5 years ago from a couple with 2 adult sons. It's a very beautiful custom country French house that the man and his sons built themselves over the course of several years. The house is very luxurious, and so I can see how special it is for them. Yesterday I was checking our town's FB page for updates on things, and came across a post of a man asking on how to contact the owners of a house that matched our address, because he wanted to show his kid his childhood home but didn't want to randomly come unannounced, especially since we installed a gate at the entrance. A lot of people gave him ideas on how to look us up on the internet and find our phone numbers and contact us. My husband and I are very private people, and this kinda bothered me. To put a stop to it, I politely commented on the post that we are not interested and apologized. Now, people are calling me a Karen for not wanting them over. I can see why they'd think I'm a Karen, but TBH, I feel relieved that I was honest because I didn't feel comfortable with having them over in the first place. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. They lost their right to show people around the property the moment they sold it. You get to decide who to let inside your house. People should mind their own business. If he wants to show his kid their childhood home, I'm sure he can pull up some photos they took while living in there. No need to go to strangers' home for that. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's your house, and you get to decide who comes in and who doesn't. Sure, the old owner's son must miss the place, but that doesn't mean you have to let him wander around. It was nice of you to address it publicly like that, shows you care about his feelings. People calling you names for just wanting some privacy are way off base. We all have different comfort levels, and there's nothing wrong with not wanting strangers in your own home. It's all about respecting boundaries, and you haven't done anything wrong. Delete your comment on FB and message him direct. No one else gets a say on how you use your property. I wouldn't let some random person on the property. With a locked gate, he could have let a letter on your gate. My mom had this happen and made the mistake of letting them in to look around. They kept showing up for a while after that, trying to insert themselves as family friends. It was weird. Not the asshole. You have every right to privacy, plus it could be a scam for all you know, especially as it regards a large, expensive property. I'm also kinda horrified by the people on that Facebook thread trying to dox you. Don't worry about the comments. I recommend you don't go back to that page for a while. In college I had a couple older women and one of their daughters show up to my dorm room and tell me they used to live in my room. They were awesome. The women were telling stories of how they stole the common room furniture, used the window as an entrance, and used to plug the door with a towel and smoke weed. The daughter in tow, who I think was touring the school, was mortified, smiley face. Not the asshole. It's your house and you can do what you like. However, small towns are different. Everyone knows each other. My barber's son was in my mother's 4th grade class. I run into the gal from the butcher shop at the doctor's office. A TSA agent at my nearest airport used to be my UPS driver, and he asked about my parents by name last time I flew. I could go on for an hour. You are not an A.H., but your neighbors might think you are, and you'll get a cold shoulder now and then. The anonymity of the city versus the closeness of rural areas is interesting. It can be a challenge to figure it out. Info: just curious if OP is from this rural area or recently moved from a more populated city. I asked BC rural country folks like to just drop by and say a quick hello or what have yous. It's at least nice of the son of precious owner to try getting in contact instead of just randomly showing up, which would be customary. Just popping by is a cultural thing that happens with us rural folks, especially the old-timers. Either way, not the asshole. But I think it'd add more context if OP was a transplant to an area that does this. Easy nah? This is Reddit and people are antisocial, so I get the not the asshole s, but realistically there's nothing wrong with the request, just like there's nothing wrong with OP denying it. Nah. Sounds like he accepted your no. He didn't add a comment that you're assholes, did he? If you could confirm he is who he says he is, it would be a nice gesture to allow it, but you're not obligated. Not the asshole, but you really should have sent the guy a DM to address his interest in revisiting his childhood home. You answered in a public forum and unnecessarily yourself out there, making you a target for the community with those who don't agree. Not the asshole. Full disclosure. I'm up in years and new to internet slang, and watch too many Dateline type shows. But isn't that called doxing or something? You are private people. You have a gate. They are internet strangers. Just because this anonymous post claims they were the previous owners, who's to say they are? Then they come in your home, and what? Case the joint, or worse. No thank you. I would have done the same as you. Let them do a drive-by and look through the gate. I am sure they have pictures. Privacy is not a bad thing, and you don't owe anyone a peek behind the curtain. Nah. It seems like he was trying to take a respectful approach and you're simply not interested. No issues or problems there. It's not his house nor any of his family members, and it's 100 your call. There's many reasons to defend your position, safety and security being at the top of the list. Not the asshole, and neither is the guy who wanted to drop by. The flying monkeys, however. Look, I get it. Both my parents and my siblings have gone to the house my grandfather built and asked the owners if they could look around, share memories with children or spouses. The family was nice enough to do so. I drove by before my aunt's funeral, pointed it out, and shared stories with my wife and daughter. I did the same at my other grandparents' home. Neither time did I feel comfortable asking for access. For me, it was enough to see the outside. Although when there was an open house at my childhood home, I absolutely took my wife and daughter and showed them around. So for someone who has deeper memories of building the place, I absolutely get it. And I absolutely get you not wanting to let them. It's your home now, you don't need strangers coming in. It's not just the structure they would be seeing, but your possessions, your lifestyle, your home. You don't need to feel any potential judgment from changes you may have made. Why'd they get rid of the chandelier we put in? That is not where they should have hung the TV. And that's if he is the person he says he is. As others pointed out, this is a fairly common scam. As long as he remains polite after the refusal, he's not an And again, neither are you. Not the asshole. My parents still live in the town I grew up in, and I found it really creepy and weird that my dad went back to the average house 15 years after they sold it and wanted a tour. On the flip side, I own a historic home and have chatted with a neighbor who used to own mine and asked questions about the features they restored and shared stories about things they didn't get around to, but I did. It's all about context, and if both parties are into it,